On Overdrive this week, it's an audio-visual delight of Porsche sports cars at the Buddh International Circuit. We chat with Mercedes-Benz India's CEO about the latest AMG GT63 models launched in the country and bid goodbye to a legendary Japanese Grand Tourer, the Nissan GTR. Hello and welcome to Overdrive. I am Sohini. The thrill of driving a Porsche 911 GTS Hybrid, a Cayman GT4 RS and the Taycan Turbo GT on an F1 track is incomparable. Or that's what Tuhin Guha has been telling me after he spent some quality time behind the wheels of Porsche at the Buddh International Circuit in Greater Noida at the Porsche Track Experience. Here's that story.
Now, if you are watching Overdrive, a day like this is probably very high up on your bucket list. We're at the Porsche World Show 2025 at the Buddh International Circuit, and it's pretty much a playground of everything Porsche. We're driving the GT4 RS and this new hybrid 911 GTS on track. The Taycan GT is right over there. We're doing 0 to 100 runs in that. We also have the Carrera S just here as it is. We're driving the Cayman off-road, and we're also driving the Spider RS around a slalom course. There's a lot happening, so let's see how this day unfolds for us today. Now what I'm doing is driving the fastest Porsche there is. It's the Taycan Turbo GT 0 to 100 in 2.2 seconds. I'm trying the launch control here. It does well over 1100 PS. Now this is without launch control, because when I put on launch control I probably won't be able to speak to you, but this is how it is.
Okay, so now if it's sport class mode, perfect, left foot on the brake, full acceleration.
This is the launch control. Oh my god!
Full brake. You can bring the camera home.
Feels like your guts are churning right inside you. Before we get to the 911s, we had to revisit the 718 Cayman GT4 RS, which I think is one of Porsche's all-time greats. You notice that edgy mid-engine sense immediately. It turns sharp, feels agile, and has that tendency to rotate that mid-engine cars do so well. The effect is that you push harder than you think you can, where the GT4 RS seems to come alive even more. It dances around corners with an ease 911s don't manage. The grip is just enough to let you fling it into a turn at great speed, notice as the car settles under you, and then let that glorious engine and PDK do the rest. This 4-litre naturally aspirated motor may not be the most potent on paper, but it is as emphatic as engines get. It's responsive like engines no longer are, eating through its 9000 RPM redline every chance it gets. The great bit is that there's no let up. The tune changes to every twitch of your foot, and you always seem to be on the money wherever you are in the power band. Now this new generation 911 GTS is a hybrid, but it's a hybrid in the way only Porsche can make hybrids, because there's really no way to tell when you drive it, when you look at it, or any other way. Because what they've done is they've put in an electric turbocharger with the engine and another electric motor with the PDK. That means 541 PS and 610 Newton meters. But more importantly, it's massively quick. 0 to 100 is in 3 seconds and top speed is over 310 kilometers an hour. There's no real way to tell, first of all, that this is a hybrid. You still can turn in like this, as you can see. Sharp, agile, like how you want a 911 to be. As you just heard, it's got like a 7,500 RPM red line. I mean, I don't know of another hybrid which has that, and as you can see, it's loud. And the great thing about it is that despite all the tech, all the hybrid stuff that's going on, the electric turbocharger, it's still hissing and puffing like a proper turbocharged, old school kind of engine, like I said before. So it's probably one of the more engaging hybrid cars I've ever driven. There's much less understeer than in the base Carrera. It turns in sharp, and while you can't quite keep up with the RSs of the world, you will keep them more than honest on the straights. Needless to say, the magical Porsche ride helps on a bumpy surface like the Buddh International Circuit. you stay stuck on. The GTS doesn't feel as disturbed as the Carrera, and that steering feels just as direct and precise as you might want. You don't notice any lag. It feels turbocharged, but not in the sense, I mean, you have this big volume of power, but there's really no lag. There's no interruption in the power delivery, which is amazing. And then you have that darty, agile feel that you want from a 911. It's always moving around as soon as you get on the power. So it just feels really connected. Aside from the 911s, we also drove the Cayman GTS on an off-road course. A V8 Porsche SUV on the rough stuff is quite a unique experience, but the GTS was surprisingly capable, especially on the steep hill descent course. The Spider RS is effectively the open-top version of the GT4 RS, but despite the roof lopped off, it didn't seem any less agile and sharp than the hardtop version. Now after the GTS, I'm now driving the, if you can call it base 911, the Carrera. But of course, by any other standard, this is not a base car. It still makes close to 400 horsepower, or maybe even a bit more than that. But yeah, after having driven the GTS, and we did get a spin in the GT4 RS, I wanted to show you really badly the GT3 RS, but sadly, for some reason, we can't drive it. It's a big bummer, but anyway, as you can see, this is not like, this is still a car that you have to treat with a lot of respect. It sounds great, again, not as good as the GTS, and definitely not as wild as the naturally aspirated RS models that we've been driving. But it can keep up with all these big guns. The Carrera still has 394 PS and 410 Nm, so it's a logical step up from a fast sedan. But you still have that distinct 911 driving character. You find that it needs your attention towards the rear. There's still that close connection to what's happening around you and that flat 6 soundtrack. Yes, after the GTS, you find that the sharp edge is missing. So there is a touch more softness and a bit more managing of speed to keep the nose in check. But serious drivers will enjoy working around this and maybe even use these traits to go faster. But maybe you feel that this car is a bit better suited for maybe everyday conditions. After these really powerful machines that we've driven, this feels very easy to drive, very usable, very much like, say, a fast German sedan, for want of a better comparison. So yeah, which again is one of the facets of the 911, is how easy it is to drive. So if you are new to, say, driving sports cars, then maybe this could be the perfect one for you. The Porsche World Roadshow was a heady day filled with adrenaline, excitement and joy. If you like your cars, especially your Porsches, find a way to get to one any way you can.
Sports cars are a different breed of beast, right? So much fun they are. Mercedes-Benz India has just launched 2 AMG coupes in India, India's very first right-hand drive coupes, coming up shortly after this break.